Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Phyllis. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. And you?
I'm good. I had some very strange dreams last night, but have you ever had a dream where you were of the opposite sex?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither, but I did last night. Okay. This is interesting. I'll have to delve into this one a little bit more. I think I'll have to write it out and then look at all the pieces of it um, and then go into it a little bit. But besides all that, today, what do you want to chat about today?
My mind right now is blank.
Oh, it's an open canvas. Let's see. Okay. Well, I know last time when the last video that we did have a request from, or a comment request from a viewer, and that was on the subject of fear and how to raise your vibration, since we were talking about fear porn in all the ways in which the media, social media, as well as primetime is pushing fear upon us at a rapid. Yeah, I feel like I live in two worlds, it's like my world and then it's like that other world. So, but yeah, so how do you stay out of the fear, but not be like an ostrich and put your head in the ground, but stay out of fear and to keep your vibration raised? So I think what we'll do first is talk about fear, because fear for each of us is different description. So what is fear to you? Have you ever experienced fear?
Oh, absolutely. Almost all the time. And it is, I will have to say, it's just like going to a job. It's a job to, especially in this day and time, to stay out of the drama and the fear that's going on around. Actually, I have had to just quit listening to a lot of stuff on the internet because it would get me, I wouldn't be able to sleep because I wonder, okay, if this happens, what would I do? If that happens, what would I do? And see, you if it to death, and then 9 times out of 10, it never does happen anyway. And you're just worrying yourself to death. But to me, fear is, of course, it is, what word do I want to use? Because we don't know the future. We don't know what is going to happen. So it's that piece of us that wants to know that and what's coming to my mind is control. We want to control things, and when we're not in control of things, it makes us fearful, because if we can't control our life, who can? And then you go back and think, okay, this is where faith comes in. Faith and trust can definitely get rid of fear. Love, first of all, but faith and trust. Okay, then that opens another can. Faith and trust. How do you trust? It seems like sometimes it's just a never-ending circle. But I know when I get into panic mode, or when I get into fear of, oh no, what's going to happen? What you hear, all this stuff, what's going to happen with the finances? What's going to happen with this and that, and the situation I'm in now, what's going to happen if I can't find a place to live, and this and that and the other. Well, I just have to, all of a sudden, I take a breath and I say, you got to step back. You got to step back, get out of it. You got to step out of where you're at, the drama and that panic. And I breathe, and I just call in divine love. It's one of those, okay, I am divine love. And divine love takes care of everything. Divine order rules my life. And when I do the divine love and the divine order, then it seems like the things calm down and I can put things in perspective again.
I think I understand the fear part because I too experience it from time to time. And for me, when I am experiencing what I have labeled as fear, it is like an automatic trigger for me to recognize that I don't have all the answers. I need more information. And so it's like I guess I kind of come into it and perceive it a little bit differently, because at first it'll make me anxious. I'll feel some anxiety in my body, and it's like, what is that? Because definitely that doesn't feel good. It's off. I'm off. So what is it that I'm anxious about? And if I am watching something or listening to something that is a constant, be prepared, this might happen, and what about your money? I mean, these are things that we all think about because we're programmed into this lifetime to think about money and to think about working and all of that. So it consumes us. And when you start pulling the rug out from under you, pulling the financial security out from under you, and pulling out the prices, groceries are too high, pulling that rug out of you. And now it's the next thing is, okay, they can't balance the budget, pull that rug out. And so yes, you feel you're completely out of control. What do you do? And then that begins the frustration part, and then you kind of sink lower because the vibration then becomes more intense and of a lower frequency, so then you sink lower into it. So yeah, there is a part, I agree with you, where it's a conscious effort to go, whoa, wait a second here, I'm going the wrong way, I'm not going there. And I recognize your mind, I can't go to Washington D.C. and be involved in the dynamics of discussing this, because in my mind, it would be very easy, because it's like, okay, this would be like my budget, okay? We don't have enough money coming in, so therefore we can't keep spending this way, because that just doesn't compute in my mind, simple arithmetic. So no, we can't raise the ceiling. To me, raising the ceiling means, we'll just get another credit card. And so we get another credit card, and then we go into debt more. So that is like, does not compute in my mind, simple math. So I don't understand why politics is so different, because it should be pretty much pretty simple for the average American to figure this out. Okay, because I hear people say, well, just print more money. A credit card, what the hell? Pay that one off, and now you have one. Let's consolidate them all now. Instead of little tiny ones all around, you just got this great big one. So you can definitely get into that fear aspect of it. So in my mind, it's like, okay, there's something more I need to know. So if I come at it again from an objective, or not objective, an objective point of view, because being in fear is being subjective. I'm just focusing on what's going on, how it's affecting me, how it's affecting my world, and then because I'm not able to see the future, then I don't know what's coming. And am I ready for it, kind of thing. So I heard this before, and I can't remember where I heard it from, but if you're angry, your mind is focused in the past. And if you're in fear or anxious, you're focused in the future. That tells me I'm not in the present. I need to gather all of, and that's the conscious awareness of it. It's like, okay, I need to gather all of me as a being and put myself in the present moment and what it is that's going on. So that does affect how I spend money. That does affect that I do look at ways to improve my own spending power and let my dollar go farther for me. So it does affect me, but those are the things that I can control. Those are the things that in my world I do have control over. So
Right.
that's my thing. So energetically, how can we keep our energy raised so that, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, turn the TV off.
I'd like to say also that what has helped me so much, a very dear friend of mine told me when I was really going through a really, really rough time. She said, okay, you ask yourself questions. Are all your bills paid today? Yes. Do you have food on the table today? Yes. Do you have a roof over your head today? Yes. Then what are you complaining about? You are fine today. Tomorrow will take care of itself, but you are fine. You have everything that you need today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I thank you that I have a roof over my head. I thank you. I'm talking to spirit. I thank you that I have, whatever I have. And when you can find that gratitude, it totally alleviates the fear. I mean, it just disappears.
Right.
Sometimes it's not easy to find the gratitude, but even if you just start saying, thank you that the sun is shining and it's not raining. Thank you for the beautiful flower. Thank you for the birds that was singing at 4:00 this morning. Just some little something, and then that will snowball into. You don't have to feel the gratitude. Oh, I can't be grateful because I don't feel it. No, you start it, and then you're going to end up going into it more and more, and you will feel the gratitude. Right. And how do you stay above everything that's going on out there and all the drama and everything that we hear? You go into gratitude for what is, what is right now, right this second. Yeah. And there you are living in the present.
Right. It's the focus. It's like, where do you choose to focus?
Right.
Energy, because where your focus goes, your energy goes. So you're right to focus on things. So some of the things that I personally like to do that keeps me in a higher vibration is I go for a walk. And I do have my video posted because it's truly takes me out of this complete where I'm at and puts me someplace else. And it's such a beautiful park. It has great paths to walk in, and they keep it very well manicured, and there's tons of fresh flowers, and I mean, even the trees are happy. There's lots of squirrels, there's lots of geese.
Yes.
And right now the geese have their babies, so there's tons of little babies of different varying sizes in the pond, and you could fish there if you want to. I think it's catch release, which that's a whole other story. I don't think I'll ever figure that one out.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and there's basketball courts. It's a typical park, but it's very well laid out, and it's beautiful, and we can walk 45 minutes in that park on those paths and never have to pass the same thing again. And you can even circle back and have a completely different view. So that is usually good for me, or even like right now, because it's spring, just to go out and buy some new plants. And if we're talking on a budget, we went to several different places, but they have a section where they have discounted plants, and the discounted plants are the ones that either they forgot to water or got too hot where they were, and they're just kind of rolling like this. But you know what? A little love and a little water can do magic, and these plants just come back pretty quickly. So I bought, on the dollar section, these plants for $1. I think we spent like $20, and I have all these, little potted plants, 4-inch potted plants, and replanted them in my little baskets, and they're just thriving right now. So you go out and look, and there they are. They're just so happy. That's all it took was a little water and a moderate amount of sunshine, and they came right back. So
And
that,
some love.
yeah, that kind of thing
Mhm.
puts me in a better state. Also, just sometimes just driving somewhere.
Yes.
I'm lucky because we have the river close by, and I'm a water person. So, we go to the river and just sit on the banks and watch that water flow. It's just very cleansing. Or if you're close to the ocean, to go to the ocean and sit. The different ions there are very, very helpful and healthy to the body. So where is it that your spirit flourishes? And mine's anywhere that there's water and trees. So, and plants, so, pick your happy place.
I used to go to the port in harbor, and I would sit there, and I would always go to the water when things were bothering me and when I just needed some calm, some peace and calm. And I would sit there and I would take every problem one at a time. And as the water went out, I would send it out with it. And as the water came in, I would bring in the opposite of what I was sending out, chaos, I would bring in peace, and that helped me so much, just to be able to see that, okay, this problem is all the way out into the ocean. It's taken care of. It's gone. And now I'm bringing in something else. And that to me was a visual of how I could get back into balance.
Yeah. Good to be grounded. It's good to be grounded. And Mother Earth just offers so many different ways that you can ground yourself. Like I said, kind of pick your passion. Sometimes even just taking a bubble bath, with some Epsom salt, because it's so full of magnesium that just helps you relax a little bit more. And it also pulls a lot of the that tension out of the cells. It does
the
do
tension.
that.
Yeah, and the toxins, right?
Yes,
it's very healthy.
Yeah. Also, aromatherapy is really good. So if you have different smells, and a lot of times right now there's a lot of good Epsom salt baths that have aromatherapy in it. So you can pick one, light a candle and just lay there, play some music. Music is another one. So what type of music kind of, there's some that gets you motivated, and there's some that's like, oh, I just want to just, be calm. And so, again, pick what does that for you. When the kids were little, when we have to clean the house to get them motivated to clean the house, I would put on Donna Summer songs. So they do all the Donna Summer songs, and I cranked that stereo up, and we would just rock out while we were cleaning. And to this day, my kids have told me that if they ever hear a Donna Summer song, they immediately want to clean the house, which I programmed them, obviously. But they'll put on their own music. So they're getting their kids to do that, put some music on. That kind of changes the vibe. Fresh air changes. So sometimes just if the weather's nice outside, just opening windows and letting, the cross happen. So there's a lot of, even us just talking about it, just it's like I can feel it, kind of.
Right.
So, and go ahead.
A lot of these that we're talking about is also what I would term a form of meditation. People think of meditation, you have to sit and you have to think of one thing. And I'm not that way. I cannot sit and think of one thing to meditate. I meditate better when I'm out in nature. It's like communing with the trees and giving gratitude. And to me, that's my meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be hard. And a lot of things that you have said, that we have talked about already, if people are wanting to meditate, hey, it's simple, it's easy. Very easy.
Yeah. just walking, like you said, just walking.
Yes.
Definitely is a form of meditation.
Yes.
It's a visual stimuli of meditation. It just really does calm the body down, gets everything flowing. So those are all really good ways. I mean, because you can't turn the TV off and you can't turn the radio off forever. You know, I'm not saying like put your head in the sand, but it's good to be, when you come back to it, being the observer and observing what's going on and really fundamentally picking out what's happening from a different perspective. Because if you get focused in on what the narration is, then you'll go with them to wherever it is that they're taking you.
Yes.
And I use kind of the analogy of Google Maps, because on Google Maps, it'll ask you, you know, you type in where you want to go, and it will give you a choice. You know, do you want to walk there? It'll give you a walking path. If you want to drive there, if you want to take the freeway, or if you just want to take surface roads, you know, how fast do you want to get there? You know, you can choose how you want to get to your point of destination. So the same thing, in analogy wise, is to, okay, how do I want to choose to take in this information? I just want the point. So here's a really good thing that I learned in school when the professor was doing a lecture. It's like you can get so wrapped up in the lecture, and sometimes you can just feel yourself nodding off. So you focus in and go, okay, what's the key points? You know, what points are they? And you bullet point them, you know, that they're trying to say. And then you can either go, if you wanted to, because this is my mind, my left brain mind, I'll go research it and see what other perspectives I can find on the subject, because you'll be amazed at, of course, there's different, whoever recording it, there's different viewpoints. So then you can kind of get an idea of what may or may not truly be happening, and then you've got it in your mind, and so it actually sends it out like radar, and you'll have information coming back in. And this is where I draw the faith line that you were talking about in the trust line, because I trust my spiritual team to give me the truth. The truth.
Yes.
Remember, I had said before that when I go to bed at night, I ask for the truth. You know, just let the truth be known. So that I'm really focused laser wise on what the truth is, and that'll come in. So when I see something, hear something, and it's not quite, it's off, and it's like, that's not setting with me. I mean, I don't totally acknowledge that.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm looking from an objective point of view, not from the point where I'm just diving in with everybody else in the big pool or cesspool or whatever. Yeah. So that does help, because we're not, depending upon who's telling the story, we don't know if it's accurate or not. And it's the same way when, you know, we're coming from the point of view of what our own personal experiences are and what we've learned. So have your own experience, you know, find your own way. These are just ways that we have found, but definitely here's another example of you could find your own way. So my guys, shut up. Anything else? You know, my soapbox, what do I say? I can tell when I'm on my soapbox, it's like it just like download. 200 miles an hour. And that was interesting, because it's like, okay, there's nothing.
Yeah, and sometimes they go quiet. It's like, okay, what's next?
But I do hope that helped people. I mean,
also calling a friend that is to where when you get off the phone, you don't feel like you've given more than you received, that you don't feel tired. You know, calling somebody, just, you know, laughing. Yeah. I know I've heard a lot of people, they put on comedy and just laugh, and that raises the frequency, that raises their frequency. And it does, it makes things a whole lot better. It just laughter is the best medicine. It is.
Yeah, that's a great point, because there are some, I mean, most comedians that are out there will take what's in the news and challenge it. And so then you start laughing at yourself, because it's like, yeah, I totally get that.
Right.
It is, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll share a story. When I was at the doctor's office yesterday, and the medical aide, she's, going to start taking my blood pressure and stuff, the normal stuff when you're at the doctor's. But what she did was very, very interesting, because our park here, we have, this is a different park than the one I usually walk at, but I love this park. It's right on the river, and it's in town, and there's a lot of things for the kids. There's a great park with swing apparatus and stuff, and they also have a little place, they call it a swim pad or a water pad, where the kids can get with a big water fountain and get in there and get wet during summer. And they have lots of things there, like they'll have concerts in the park, on a Tuesday evening, and they'll have different bands, and so it's a very nice park. However, we have a lot of the unhoused, which formerly were homeless, that are camping there. They're like pitching their tents. It's a beautiful park with lots of trees, pitching their tents there, and like that's where they've chosen to live. And so it's not designed for camping, number one. So that's kind of odd. But the second part is, there's just this fear of, oh my gosh, you can't make them leave. How terrible of us to make them go. And it's like, well, if they want to camp, I'm totally okay with that. But we have some nice camping parks. So my mind objectively thinking, why can't you take a segment of each of the parks then? And those are for the unhoused people that can camp there. So that it's a camping place. That's where people camp. So anybody that does camp, those facilities are designed for camping people. And you don't have to charge them if that's the case, if that makes you feel better and you feel like you're going to get a better ticket to heaven. I mean, far be it from me, that's fine. But you're taking a section of it, and that's okay. But no, instead, we don't know what to do with these people in the park, kind of thing. And so now we have this great big adventure that happens on Memorial Weekend every year in Grants Pass, which is called Boatman. And the club takes over the park basically, and there's a carnival there, and there's all kinds of food booths and vendors. And it's really a nice thing the park offers. Plus, there's jet boat racing and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's a 3-day event, and it raises money for the local Boys and Girls Club, which is a great thing. Well, they had to move out the unhoused. So, the medical aide was saying to me that she heard a rumor, and I'm going to say this loud, it's a rumor because we don't know, we don't have any validation with it, but the rumor is that this club was going to pay the homeless $100 a day to stay away.
Oh my.
And I looked at her and I said, dang, I could use $100 a day. That's like 3 days, that's $300. And she said, that's what I was thinking. So it's like, why can't we go pitch our little puck tent over there? Get $300 a day. I mean, this is like, this is what I'm talking about being objective. It's like, hello, is anybody like really thinking here? And so then we got off on this subject and really dived in, and it was comical because this is what she said to me. Well, then how are they going to know that they paid you the $300? Do they take your picture? Do they take your? I said, I don't know. That's a good thing. I said, so basically we could take the $300 and then go to the. She said, yeah. And I said, wow, this is amazing. I said, this is like a real adventure. This is a new way, so it does not make sense. It does not compute. The thing is that they had to clean out everybody so that they can clean up dermic meals, so that they can clean up everything else that's in the park. And the other thing, they've got it closed now for a month. And she said to me, what are they doing in that month? And I started laughing. I said, it'll take them that long to figure out what they're going to do when they open it back up, how they're going to keep them out. I said, it's the most silliest thing because we're not addressing the problem.
Right.
At all. Right. We're just sugarcoating everything and trying to make everybody happy and not taking any responsibility. So it's a thing of focusing then on objectively of what's happening. And then when you do that, then all of a sudden there's other ways that come in to solve the problem. Because
Yes.
who says this? You can't fix a problem with the same energy that was used to create it.
Right.
And that's what
Right.
they're doing. And that's exactly what they're doing. So when you're in a state of fear or anxiety, or you have this low vibrational energy, you cannot stay in the same place where that energy is that helped you to create that for yourself. You have to move out of it into a different vibration. So in anything, whether it's fear, anxiety, depression, or whatever, you have to move yourself out of that in order for you to be in an objective state of mind, so that you can see all the possibilities, all of it. And I agree with you when you say to write like a gratitude journal, because that helps you, again, focus on something different, even if you don't feel that gratitude right now, right? Because when you focus on it, you're automatically shifting yourself out of that energy, and then you can begin to look at whatever it is that got you there in the first place with a bigger perspective. So that was a long way to tell you about, but I used the park there. Because that's just like, I went home thinking, wow. Wow, that's an interesting way of making a cool extra $300 without standing on the corner with the dog, and a sign going,
Yeah.
I need food, or I need help, or I need gas money, or whatever. I love when they stand on the corner and they go, I just want to buy a beer. It's like, oh, I'm glad you're honest. Here, take a couple bucks, go buy yourself a beer.
I always wondered about the people that was on the corner with the dog. The dog has to eat, and the dog doesn't look like it's starving. And it's like, okay, what's wrong with this picture?
Well, here locally, the reason they take care to have a dog, of course, it's a sympathy factor. But because everybody falls for the dog. But the reason they have a dog here is because we don't really have like a dog catcher per se. So if they arrest them for any reason, they don't have anybody to take the dog. So they can't take them to jail because they have the dog. They pretty much just, slap them on the wrist and tell them, don't do that anymore. And then, and move them on the way. But yeah. I don't know. But those dogs are so well taken care of, and they're so loved. Let me tell you, a lot of times, like there's a few times we've been in like Walmart in the return aisle, and there's been an unhoused person behind us or something, had this dog, and the dog was so well mannered. The dog was so in love with this man. You could tell they had a bond. And I just strummed up a conversation with him, and I said, how long have you had the dog? And he said, about 6 months. And I said, that dog is just totally loves you. And he goes, well, the feeling is mutual. He said that he is really an awesome person. And I said, yeah. I said, they never disagree with you, do they? It's just like, whatever you want to do, we'll do. No problem. Yeah. He goes, yeah.
In my eyes, I've thought about it a lot. I love dogs, but I have thought that to me, the most beautiful example of unconditional love, of Spirit's love, is through a dog or a cat, but cats are sort of finicky. But seriously, a dog, I've seen dogs that were abused, but yet they go back to their owner, their abuser. And it's like, it's totally unconditional love.
Yeah.
And I think that so many people have those dogs because they do not feel that love from other people.
Great point. Yeah.
That, no matter what, that dog's going to be there and it's going to love you.
Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah. That's a great bond. That's awesome. I like that. Well, that'd be a good note to end on, huh?
Okay.
Okay, so let's wrap her up. So we talked about fear and basically what it means to each of us, and different ways that you can shift from that fear. Really,
Yes.
basically means you're not in the moment. You're not in,
Right.
maybe not even fully grounded. So other ways to get grounded or to raise your vibration out of that sequence, so that and not to really like push it away and never go back to it, but to get away from it long enough so that you can come back and look at it with a different perspective, different eyes, different energetic viewpoint, and that would help you to solve your issues a lot better. And I love the laughter part, because you have to laugh at some of the things that are going on, because it's like, really, can people believe that, really? See, just makes you laugh. So find a good comedian that you really, really like, and put them on, or put some good music on. Change your environment, change what you're listening to, change what you're seeing, and that will change what you're feeling, because people just jive together. Anything else you want to add to that?
I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, I'm sure there's a whole lot more, but and each person can find their own, but hopefully we've given them a place to start.
Yeah. Well, it'd be great too, is if people that have listened, if they can comment below what they do to raise their own mojo.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Get some different ideas, and that way even people just reading the comments can get some fresh ideas on in different ways to help them out of a tough situation. Sounds good. All right. This was great. I love you. I always love our chats. They're great. And I hope everyone else gets something out of it. And if so, please like, share, and of course, comment. And then
subscribe.
Yes, that too. I always forget that.
Yes.
And then you'll know when we're coming on, because we sometimes don't know when we're coming on. Okay, sounds
That's
good.
right.
and then next week, or maybe at the end of this week, I don't know, it just depends on both our schedules, we'll do a live and see how that goes.
Sounds good.
I'm not afraid.
That's funny. I can laugh at that one.
It's good to laugh at yourself, isn't it? No. All right, Phyllis, thank you. Thank everyone.
Thank you.
And we'll have a great week. And a great Memorial weekend, because that's coming up. All right.
Okay. All right.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Love you.